last question. I'm just processing all of it. So basically everything's kind of double weighted. In other words, you got your 1 to 5 answers, that's all totaled. But then in, I'll say your rubric, because that's our language that we've been using, inside your rubric you then weighted everything by category. So by subject matter or however that's there.
There may be 50 questions, but they may be broken down into 10 categories. Sometimes if one question is extremely important, it might be alone by itself in a category. There could be 3 questions per category or 25 questions per category. But that category, depending upon the importance and the total solution, is given a percentage weight of those final total points.
Can you speak to when the subject matter experts or the review panel, when they're reviewing the answers of the applicants or the people that have submitted the proposals, what do they see? Are there things that they are prevented from seeing to anonymity for the actual person submitting the proposal, or is everything disclosed?
Everything is disclosed to the evaluators, but the evaluators are required to attend evaluation training, which is typically handled by the State Procurement Office. It's a 1-hour training meeting to explain to them how to score, and during that meeting they sign a confidentiality form and disclosure, which states that they have no ownership with the vendor, no conflict of interest, no financial attachment to the vendor, and that they will score unbiased. Because a lot of times you will have, when you're pulling a subject matter expert, often they may have worked with the vendor or be very aware of a vendor in that particular industry. But they do sign that they will score in an unbiased way and keep the whole process confidential.
There's been a lot of talk about, it seems like we've been leaning towards a merit-based system, and that there was a tiebreaker going to the lottery. Some of the argument against the merit-based has been the litigation issue, which would potentially delay the rollout of the amendment. How have y'all dealt with that? I mean, because I'm ignorant of what, I'm never surprised by what people will sue for, being a medical doctor, but still ignorant of what kind of things put us at that exposure that give us a higher risk to end up in some kind of litigious thing. It seems like there's a lot of emphasis last time on, if we did a merit base, for sure we're all going to get sued, et cetera, which ends up delaying it. So how do y'all deal with that? I mean, it almost sounds like, on one hand, it almost sounds impossible to do a merit base because you're definitely going to get sued. The other hand, the plus of doing a merit base is really trying to find the most, the best people to get the job done and have a successful rollout.
Right. Procurement law does have an avenue for a vendor to protest. Once we have determined our apparent successful vendor, or vendors, if it's going to be multiple vendors, we'll post it on our website in what we call an anticipation to award. It's posted there on our website for 14 days, and during that period, any vendors who also bid on that solicitation have the opportunity to file a protest. That protest is directed to our Director of Procurement, Ed Armstrong. When he receives a protest letter, he'll review that, look at the facts, review all the evaluation score sheets and the vendor proposals, and make a determination on if that protest is warranted and it's upheld,
So
or if it's denied.
You're looking at that protest basically in-house. You're looking at it. So basically, let's say we reviewed it, we picked 5 cultivators, let's say we get 3 protests back. So the first rule is for us as a committee to review it, or is that getting reviewed by an outside court or a second party to us, or do we oblige to reevaluate it?
Well, the evaluation committee is selected or appointed by the state agency who's entering into the contract. So that might be Department of Health or Department of Human Services. The protest by law is directed to the Director of State Procurement. he's out of the process until that point. And he's not part of the review committee. He hasn't seen the proposals. So at that point, he is an unbiased judge of the facts, and he can look at it from an unbiased opinion, not being in the evaluation committee, not hearing the opinions. He can look at the scores based on the proposals and determine if he feels the protest is warranted.
So let's say he feels it's warranted, and his response is?
We will not go forward with an award, and
Anybody at all? So it freezes everybody?
basically the solicitation is canceled.
Okay.
And we may repost that solicitation with revised specifications. And there's several different avenues. You know, you can decide just not to go forward with the solicitation, to cancel it. You can cancel it, but then turn around and rebid it, and basically start from the beginning again. So if it's protested and that protest is upheld, that solicitation is basically just canceled. And if we still want to enter into a contract, we start again with posting that request for proposals with any adjusted specifications and receive a new set of proposals. And typically if that happens, and it's rare that it does, but when it does happen, often we get a new evaluation committee who is not familiar or has not read the previous proposals to begin a new evaluation.